Uh, AG, were you aware that an average airport has over 1,000 cameras in place? I assumed a lot of it was largely for security, but do you believe that can be repurposed for something else?
Well, the feeds from these thousands of cameras actually automates hundreds of the manual turnaround processes, from delay predictions to resource management, to cutting the airline cost, as well as for improving the efficiency.
So who do you think benefits from all of this? Who could be beneficiaries of all of this data that you're saying gets generated from these cameras?
Pretty much all the stakeholders, whether it's airlines or the airports or the ground handlers. Do you know how much millions of dollars of losses happens because flights get delayed? Because ultimately time is money. And that's what Zest IoT tries to automate so that you don't fear any delay in the flights. Now I would like to invite a gentleman who is an entrepreneur by heart, engineer by education, and a business leader by choice. Please welcome Amit Sukhija, co-founder and CEO of Zest IoT.
Over to you, Amit.
Thank you for this very nice introduction. So I see a good amount of crowd today, and I'm sure a lot of you would have taken a flight as well, or would have passed through the Mumbai airport, which is one of the airport having single runway. And I will take you through a little bit of background, what happens behind the scene. But first is, while our colleagues bring the presentation which we are going to showcase, I must say that like taking a bet on the bold ideas as well. I was quite surprised when Ashish Wadhwani first came and asked Amit, this time we want to going to do something different at the IvyCap day. This is more about the tech experience. Let's see how technology works in a live environment today while we take you through that as well. Like the way they invest in the bold ideas and back founders with crazy, let's say thinking like what I had one day with no aviation background. So with that, can I have the presentation? So while the session is coming up behind the scene, this was a very interesting part of the journey, how I started 8 years back. And let me take you through a quick 1 minute of first video. I have a colleague who will also play a role when we showcase how the tech works behind the scene as well. So Jay is my colleague who is working from a remote location, the way things work behind the scene. Let us show you a quick glimpse of what happens and what we are doing in that space.
Can we play the video, please?
I think there's a little bit of audio, yeah, so tech is again, giving its own, let's say, set of challenges. But let me take you through the part of what is...
Turnaround operations face challenges, limited visibility, unavailable resources, delayed responses. Curious to know how Zest IoT solves this? Camera AI, IoT, mobile app. These visuals are processed into intelligent data, creating a digital replica of your turnaround in motion. Now you gain complete airside visibility, both above and below the wing. If an issue is detected, the system does more than alert. It sends the right information to the right people, along with actionable recommendations, in real time. Each event has time-stamped and verified in real time against ideal timeline. If something's off, our AI doesn't wait, it instantly alerts the right people. Successfully piloted at top-tier airports across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Amazed? How can an airport achieve turnaround excellence? Creating value every day, for airports, airliners, and ground handlers in the industry.
So with this nice quick video showcasing at a very high level 40,000 view of what happens behind the scene, there is a visualization of what if this is not there, then how does the system works behind the scene. So imagine if there is a 10 minutes of delay for one of the flight. There are on an average, based on which part of the world you take a flight as an experience, on an average 5 to 10 to 15 people will be working behind the scene in parallel and sequence, the way you would have seen a Formula 1 race car going to the pit area and how quickly in 45 seconds the tires are changed. So imagine similar kind of example where an aircraft comes to a parking stand. A lot of people work behind the scene, below the wing, above the wing, on the terminal side, as well as the baggage area, security, immigration, etc. And if there is a delay, First of all, visibility of delay is one of the biggest challenge. And with that, if the visibility is not there, who will take the right decision? They're all blindsided. And now imagine an airport like Delhi Airport or Bombay Airport having 200 to 350 flights on the ground at any point of time. And later I will show you, we all have been talking about Middle East, UAE, and how at Dubai Airport also we did something quick with that. And the challenge is with that visibility, and if it is going to 5 minutes, 10 minutes of delay, it is absolutely chaos. And the only way is people using walkie-talkie and mobile to understand what is happening from situation, processing in their mind, relaying that communication to one to second, etc. Now with that chaos, what we started doing with this, let us now take you from a PPT and from a video to a live tech experience of our application. And what you see here is a bird eye view of Dubai Airport. It is a simulated environment, but showcasing how an airport operation control center will get a complete bird's eye view of all the flights at all of their pier, AB, etc., Terminal 1, Terminal 2, as well at the airport. And the most important objective for airport operation control center is which flight has the risk of missing its target departure time. Why? Because airport provides the parking stand, and parking stand is where the aircraft will come and will start the deboarding process and then boarding the next set of passengers for the onward flight. And if that flight at the airport parking stand is not going to free up its space, next aircraft which is in the air which is going to come to that parking stand has to be routed somewhere else. So that's a kind of challenge, and for solving that challenge, and our colleagues were talking about the data, the way today now the technology has evolved to in terms of creating a change is create a bird's eye view, so that from an exception perspective, with so much of data and so many operations, can mind see a simple answer, which flight has a risk of running its target departure time and missing the time. And I'll show you the impact of that also. So here red flight, for example, is the one which is going to miss its target off block time. Then the next question is, what is the problem? On a mouse over, the data will tell, first of all, what is the new prediction target departure time from its scheduled time, which could be even 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes before its scheduled time, and which process is running late and causing the delay, and by how much amount. So that's a kind of view after you find out which flight has the risk, then from there, what is the problem. Now, AOCC is one such user who is using this technology, but there are many other users on the ground as well. And collaboration is the very important aspect when a delay happens, that what needs to be done. And in this case, AOCC sitting in command and control center has no idea what is the action happening on the ground. But then now, if you want to see what is happening, on the click of that flight, the user will go further to the next level of details. And here technology will show a very nice comprehensive view. You will see a lot of information elements, the way they have been designed from the perspective of finding the problem and using camera as a way also to see the live view as well while AI is running behind the scene. And then showing a very clear, nice Gantt chart that which task is performed by whom, and if there is a problem, what needs to be done with that. And with this, what is the current time, which is from an operations perspective, what is the prediction time when aircraft will be ready for departure? Which means, as a mind from an AOCC perspective, they're not just only looking at the information, but they're also getting further level of trust and confidence, which is very, very important from a reliability perspective of decision making. Because the next aircraft, they need to take a decision that whether the next aircraft will come at the same parking stand or at a different parking stand. And in all of this, as we all see, chaos happens, like the delay happens. So in this case, for example, on the right-hand side, bottom, there are some messages which have been shown, which are critical alerts. And as an example, now if I am a gate agent who is now supposed to close the flight because it is a time now in the next 20 minutes flight is going to depart, I have to close check-in. The moment I press on my button, a close check-in, so that the flight can be closed and the closing operations can start, system finds out that one of the packs, probably sitting somewhere enjoying in the lounge, is not going to make up, and system find one pack's no-show. From a DGCM, from a security perspective, if the passenger is not going to board, their bags have to be offloaded, which means while gate agent has completed his job of closing the flight, somebody has to inform ground staff, which is ramp supervisor or turnaround coordinator, that there is a 1 pax no-show and bag has to be unloaded. Now system automatically, without any manual intervention, based on the intelligence, based on the situational awareness, finding this answer and then giving a task as an alert to the TRC or the supervisor on the ground. And that's where I will ask my colleague who will be acting as a supervisor and will show a mobile app part of the version, how on the ground the person is finding the answers to that. So I will call, and if I want, I can also call, I can do chat also as well. And right now I will say that, hey Jay, I see a PAX no-show. What is happening with that person back's offload? And what is the ETA?
Hi Amit, yes, I have acknowledged the task. Supervise the RAM supervisor to offload. The ETA is 2 minutes. We are about to find one more bag. So here I will send my remarks back to the OCC that bags are found and offloaded, pictures are taken, and I will then close my task here. So I'll just click a picture of the bag, and because this is mandatory to show to the pilot as per regulatory, and then I will go back, acknowledge it and close my task. Now 2 bags are offloaded without any delay, without any collaboration. I am on the ground at near the aircraft, and OCC is back outside the airport.
Thank you, Jay. With this, I'm quite relieved as a AOCC because I see that in this situation there is an exception, and with that exception, a task has been automatically assigned, and then there is someone who is taking the responsibility and has given 2 minutes ETA also. Normally in a scenario with our application, I don't need to really call because I have, when my colleague will now take me back to the web application part of our technology, I as a AOCC is getting a view that in this particular case the task has been assigned, and then if I want to see who has worked on that, I see that as a TRC coordinator, a person has raised his hand and he's saying that yes, I'm taking care of this bag's offload, and then I see the comments of 2 minutes ETA, and then from that task action and exception closure perspective, I'm quite relieved. And then based on that, I can see that in a normal scenario, this type of example, we have seen personally from our eyes, it easily takes 15 to 20 minutes of time. And that is one such reason where we all as a passenger sitting in the aircraft are quite angry and quite frustrated because everything looks ready, but flight is still not ready for departure because door is not closed. So that's the way this kind of visibility is created. And in terms of the tech and the AI behind the scene, the system collects a lot of data, it purifies a lot of data. Previous speaker was talking about reliability of the data. So reliability of the data in this kind of situation is very, very critical, which is what also we do job as well. And then I will ask my colleague Jay also to show a couple of events, how AI is collecting those data and evidences of that as well. So we collect a lot of data using sensors, IoT, we collect a lot of data using cameras, AG was also talking about, and then we capture the evidence of that. And you will see also people are being masked as well because AI, while capturing the raw data, is also protecting the identity of the individuals, detecting these kind of operations and collecting thousands of these data, each second as well. And with that, the system is able to create a very nice comprehensive view of the entire solution so that from a bird eye view perspective, it should answer which flight has a risk of missing its departure time, what is the problem with that, who is taking action on that, and then as a AOCC, do I have the confidence that with this, we see the system, giving us the right information, and predictions behind the scene is going to give us an accurate picture of that if the flight is not going to be ready by 10:50, but it will definitely be ready by 10:55, and with that degree of accuracy, I can rely my decision about which parking stand, which aircraft should come to which parking stand. That's a quick view of how this technology works behind the scene and enables collaboration for a lot of users across different departments on ground as well as anywhere on the air side as well as on the terminal side to take decisions based on real-time situational awareness. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Amit, if I could just intervene here and ask one question. I know you covered the predictability of data quite well, but also help me understand, AG spoke about the different stakeholders who benefit from a solution like this. Help me understand the quantification of what benefit they get. Could it be in terms of time, cost savings, that translates to business metrics that gives them the impetus to purchase a software like this?
Sure. First of all, it goes back to 6-7 years back. It was a lucky timing that BCG published a report that on an average, 1 minute of additional time spent by the aircraft on ground cost airlines millions. I was quite excited with that. But when I started working, customers started asking, show us the saving. And previous speaker was also talking about right to win. So today, I can say with the quantification based on the work we have done with airlines, airports and ground handlers. Let's take the example of airline. 1 additional minute per aircraft is costing them $100. And let's take the example of Indigo as an airline. Every day they are handling close to 1,800 or probably 2,000 odd flights. So you can multiply that, if 20% of the flights are delayed out of 2,000 into $100 into 365 days, that's the impact only airline alone has. I was 2 days back in Malaysia meeting one of the ground handler, and they are just simply spending 15% of their manpower cost on overtime because of the disruptions, because of the delays as one such data indicator, which by value also is quite a lot as well. Airports. In a peak hours like Mumbai or even Heathrow for that matter, 1 slot is of significant value, and if that slot, because aircraft could not depart from its scheduled time, that slot is lost. It's of multi-million dollar of revenue from an airport perspective as well as an impact of things not working on time.
Literally, time is money then. Thank you, Amit. Can we please have his token of appreciation? Thank you, Zest IoT, for proving that when data lands right, businesses really take off. A big round of applause, everyone. Did you know? Hello? Set up. Okay. So did you know sitting is called the new smoking? FlexifyMe helps you bend, stretch, and realign, not just bodies, but also lifestyles, with tech-driven wellness that makes flexibility the new power move. So Aniket and AG, over to you.
Thank you. So I've had 2 surgeries till date. Both times after the surgery, I had to get physiotherapy done. And along the way, I dropped off from the physiotherapy process. It was either too cumbersome or more importantly, I couldn't quite assess what the progress in terms of my treatment was. Now, is this a real problem to be solved?
Oh, wow. It's actually a very big problem. Over 1.7 billion people in the world suffer from musculoskeletal diseases. And Aniket, I must tell you, you should have tried FlexifyMe's solution. They just don't cure symptoms. Using their dynamic posture and gait analysis and their expert physiotherapists, they actually solve the root cause of the problem.
That's interesting. But also, the other problem I thought was it was cumbersome to always keep going to a center, and I wanted an easier solution around this. Is there something that solves that as well?
Oh, that's where they have completely nailed it. They have a physical center, as well as you can do it directly from the comfort of your home online.
Interesting. And what's the global play for something like this? We as investors always look at options available outside as well and see if that's replicable in India. Have you seen solutions like this there? Is there an opportunity at play in India?
Oh, well, it's a $1 billion, very mature market in US. There are companies like Hinge Health, Kaya Health, who have done hundreds of millions of revenue. India, I really believe that one such candidate is going to come up, and my bet is on FlexifyMe. Let's see their performance on stage today.
Thank you. So with that, we'd like to introduce Amit and Manjeet from FlexifyMe to talk more about this.
A big round of applause, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, thanks, everyone. My name is Manjeet and this is Amit. We are the co-founders of FlexifyMe. So FlexifyMe, as you can see, it's a gateway to a pain-free world. our focus is to help people in getting rid of any kind of chronic pain, be it back pain, neck pain, spondylitis, arthritis, all these kinds of cases. And like AG mentioned, so these kind of problems are growing at a very, very fast pace. And the main reason for this is like 90% of the cases, it's postural issues. So human body is never designed to sit in one place for like 8-10 hours. But because of our work, we are not able to avoid that. And that has started to cause most of muscular joint issues in our body. And I must say thanks to a lot of now quick commerce like Zapto, Zomatos. Previously, we used to move out for having food or buying groceries. And even those movements are going down, which is actually increasing the chronic pain issues at a very, very fast pace. And that's where FlexifyMe comes into the picture. So first, talking about the chronic pain, the problem or the market. So I had a issue of lumbar spondylitis in 2016-17. And that was the time I have visited a lot of physiotherapists and started doing a lot of research. And I realized that there is hardly any change or there is hardly any tech intervention that has happened in the physiotherapy or the chronic pain market in last 50 years. The way it was done in 1950s, it's exactly the same way it is being done today in 2025. So the major challenges that are there in the chronic pain or physiotherapy market is first, no root cause analysis. So the biggest challenge in this particular market is that there is no analysis being done. There is no standardized way to diagnose what is the root cause for the specific pain problem. And if you go from one physiotherapist to another, so one will start with some kind of solution, other will start a completely different kind of solutions without even checking what is the root cause for that specific problem. The second main problem is generic solutions. Like again, different physiotherapists have different kind of solutions, chiropractors have a different kind of solution, and there is no scientific way to understand why that particular solution is going to work. And human body, I can tell you, is very, very complex, and there is no one size fits all. And just give you an example, like back pain if you talk about, so my back pain could be because of my shoulder postural issues. Somebody else's back pain could be because of a pelvic posture issue. So for the same problem, there are so many different kinds of reasons. So identifying the reason becomes very, very important for getting a proper solution. And third, even the larger problem in this pain space is there is 0% progress tracking. So when you start going to a physiotherapist, there is hardly any benchmarking done that, once you reach to this specific stage, you can be assured, that the problem is solved and, you can go back to your normal life. And that is the reason 93% of the people suffering from chronic pain keep having that pain again and again, because there is no way to track whether the problem is completely solved or not. And that's where FlexifyMe comes into the picture. So what we have built is basically we have built the next 50 years of physiotherapy, solving the problems in this, the chronic pain solution. So first thing that we have done is we have standardized the diagnosis. So what we have done is, with the help of our AI-based posture analysis, we do a detailed analysis to find out why that particular problem is happening. Once we understand the problem, we create a customized solution, again, depending on the reason. So we find out a customized solution. And once that is done, so we start tracking the solution so that the patients or the clients are able to understand how they are progressing and whether the problem is getting resolved or not. Okay, now just talking quickly about how we do the diagnosis. So this is the first part of our diagnosis. So we have a computer vision technology. So if you're going to an offline center, so we have kiosk. If it is an online session, so any laptop or a mobile phone camera can be used for doing a posture analysis, which is again a two-part analysis. So first is a static posture analysis. So static is, usually we find out 32 plus joints in the body, just understand whether all the joints are aligned properly or not, and if there is any postural or alignment issue in the body whenever the body is at a static state. Second part is we also do a dynamic analysis. So dynamic analysis is usually depending on the problem. So we find out, which joints need to be assessed, and we find out, how much is the mobility of those joints, how much is the strength of the muscles, just to understand what are the root muscles, joints or bones which are causing that specific problem. Once we do that, so AI again goes into a treatment mode. It creates a customized program for our patients, and post that, once the treatment starts, the best part, the best part is basically the tracking. And we have seen with, thousands of our patients, when they see the tracking with the help of these pictures, so, we can see the light in their eyes. And we objectively track, that is when they started, what was the kind of movements they were able to do. And as they progress, how it is improving with clear benchmarks. That is when, so these are basically our progress reports that we create. So we clearly specify the benchmarks. That is, once you reach to these benchmarks, so that is when you can be sure that is now the problem has been solved completely. So that's how the solution works. So what we'll do is we'll show you a quick demo, a live demo of our postural analysis. And post that, we'll show you like a live session how it usually works. So we'll just ask for a volunteer, who can come.
Who has the back pain, who has the cervical spondylosis pain, can please come to the stage. We'll get the real-time analysis done of your musculoskeletal problems and create a solution for you right away. Yes, please, Abhishek.
अभिषेक, जो दिक्कत है सब बता दो, अभी हील कर लो.
So we'll just start the assessment part.
I think feed is not coming.
Can we get the feed on the screen?
Yeah, please.
So till the time the technology is fixed or the internet issues are going on, do you mind if I ask you what's your age?
27. 27.
Okay. So the musculoskeletal problem, which actually started happening after 35, 40, I see a lot of people in this room who understands what is back pain, neck pain. But now in this era, it has started much earlier. Abhishek here is facing from 37, but we have patients who have been suffering from this problem since the age of 15 years because they have been in front of laptops, cameras, mobiles. The posture is completely crooked. There are a lot of students who have started coming to FlexifyMe because of this exact problem. And now we'll see how it helps, how the technology helps to identify the root cause and then laying out the solution.
Let us step out.
Well done. Now let's begin. Stand comfortably facing the camera. Maintain your natural pose. Hold your position.
So first part is the static posture analysis.
Stand comfortably with your right side facing the camera. Maintain your natural pose. Hold your position.
Well done.
Stand comfortably with your back facing the camera. Maintain your natural pose. Hold your position.
Well done.
So there is a static posture analysis, and post that
Stand
it
with your
starts a
left
dynamic.
side facing the camera. Keep your spine straight and your arms by the side of your body. Take your arm back. Avoid arching your back. Go only as far as there is no pain. Hold your position.
Well done.
Start with your feet hip width apart and knees engage. While inhaling, lift and stretch your hands up. While exhaling, fold forward. Your hands may land on your ankle or on the floor. Inhale and extend your chest and lengthen your spine.
ओहो अभिषेक फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी नहीं है पता चल रहा
Please
है
correct your pose.
Yeah, you have to try this again. ये वाला रह गया. Yeah, yeah.
So when it shows the
Please
red
correct
dots,
your
that means
pose.
it's not doing it correctly. The technology identifies that the movement is not happening correctly.
Just hold.
Keep holding this pose.
Hold. थोड़ा सा bend करना पड़ेगा.
Keep holding this pose.
Well done.
That's it. Thank you.
From the seated
So, I'll
position,
just skip,
bend your
some of
knees
the
and bring the
other
soles
steps.
of the feet together.
Abhishek we'll blame the blazer for it don't worry
You have to give benefit of doubt
So
for
it asks for
later.
the pain scale. It also considers stress. So I'll just skip all that part. And then it does the analysis to find out the root cause for the pain, and it creates a live report like this. So it takes few seconds to generate the details. This is again the static posture analysis. So in the static posture analysis, again, finding out if there is any misalignment in the body, like body tilting a little bit about a degree towards the right hand side. Then there is a forward head posture. Like, I mean, you can see in his case, so he has a forward head posture of about 12 degrees. And then the dynamic analysis, the shoulder mobility with a live score. So all that is done, and basis that it creates a plan. So this is like a detailed plan that has to be followed for a proper full relief. So like stage 1 is usually reducing the pain, second part is rehabilitation, third is functional recovery, and the last stage is activities of daily living. So when we talk about recovery, so for recovery, from our perspective is that a person of a similar age, whatever activities that person should be able to do without pain. So our patient should also be able to do all those activities without pain, and that's where we bring them. So we'll just quickly show you a live session also how it works, because there's a physiotherapist is always there in the session also.
Perfect. So this, what you see on your screen right now, this is the live session that happens when the patient comes online. Like Ashish Gupta rightly mentioned, you don't have to be coming to the offline center every time. Even if it's online, we can do the assessment, we can make the, we can assess the patient, and we can execute the services. So basically you can see on your screen that when the patient is doing, the AI is still active, it's on the conference call happening, and still the AI can identify each and every joints of your body and the movement. And once they do all those things, so it goes on for some time where all the analysis is done, while the physiotherapist is actually explaining what's going on with your body, how is the movement happening, how is the AI tracking it. And then we use a lot more tools. So basically, let's say if this is one of real life patient, and of course we have taken the permission. So then they explain, which part of your body is problematic, where exactly is the stiffness, what all we'll be doing to help you recover from that, so on and so forth. And then the report gets generated, which Manjit just showed you, right? So it has all the details about everything that's happening with your body. And it doesn't stop over there. Once the patient onboards with us, so before that, I'll just quickly show you how more we are using the AI. So basically, when the patient onboards with us, the physiotherapist will use that report that got generated, which is all into the system. And then they will just say, hey, this is my patient. You generate the exercise for this patient. I'll just put some name over here, whether the patient is just a beginner. And then I'll just use some name. These are all real patients we have. And then what is the start date? Then the patient has, let's say, onboarded today. And I want for next 2 weeks. And then I can tell to my AI, please recommend me the exercise based on all the inputs, the progress, the assessment report that has been just uploaded into the system. And it creates these set of exercises that you can see on your dashboard. So the physiotherapist doesn't have to use too much of their own skill set here. The engine is recommending the exercise that the physiotherapist has to conduct. And this all has been proven. This data has been gone into the system from last 4 years, thousands of patients. And yet, basically, if the physiotherapist feels that, hey, this exercise is not correct for this particular patient, I want to just remove it, or I want to add one more exercise, they can go and edit the plan and put whatever exercises they want for this patient. And after 2 weeks, there will be a progress report by which we will assess what is the change in the pain or flexibility or range of motion. All those data again goes back to the engine, and the engine is becoming more and more powerful in that way. So let me quickly show you how the progress report also looks like. So this is again from one of our patients, Anish Gupta. Okay, we have a little bit of connectivity issue. Yeah, but this is how it looked like when he came for the first time. You can see the posture, it's tilted on one side, a lot of forward neck. When he came, he was under a lot of pain, like 8 out of 10, and barely able to sit without putting his hands behind to support his body. And after 1 month of taking sessions with FlexifyMe, this is the progress report that got generated. You can see the posture. Everything is real. The posture got corrected in 1 month's time. The forward neck got improved a lot. Very importantly, he was able to sit without any support. That's very important for him. And again, this data goes back into the engine to make sure that the engine is getting trained. So that's how we are making sure that every patient that comes to FlexifyMe has some outcome, objective outcome that they gain, and they can see what progress has been happening. It's a completely transparent, it's not like a black box solution that was happening till now with any physiotherapist. It's very transparent. The patient knows how things are going and where they are progressing. So yeah, that's FlexifyMe for you. Please sign up.
Thanks. Thank you, Amit and Manjeet. I told you about my experience 10 years back. I see where things are today. If you could just quickly touch upon where do you think this will look 10 years down the line? Will it be your physiotherapist conducting this, or will there be robots and other sort of automation managing all of this? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Sure. So what our vision is, like we mentioned, so biggest problem is there is no detailed analysis. So right now, if you have diabetes, so if you go for an HbA1c test, if the level is above, let's say 5.7, so you have a diabetes. Similarly, we want to standardize the diagnosis for pain management so that you can understand what is the root cause, and once your treatment starts, so you should also be able to understand what are the benchmarks that you need to reach so that the problem is completely solved. And I think, again, physiotherapists and all the pain management experts will play a very important role, but our idea is to make the entire market or entire chronic pain industry more efficient is what we are moving towards. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to give it?
Applause. A big round of applause, everyone. Can we also have the token of appreciation? Thank you, FlexifyMe, for making sure innovation doesn't come with a stiff neck. यार ताली तो बनती है.
Thank you. This is it. Thank you. I think you want a photo. Thanks. Thank you. Great presentation. You're up.
Did you know there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on Earth? Luckily, Dhruva Space isn't trying to count them. They are busy building satellites to actually connect with them. AG, what were you really thinking while making this investment? Huh?
Well, Madhuri, space is indeed fascinating and definitely gigantic. If you in fact read some analyst report, it's projected that satellite market would grow at more than double-digit rates. And like next decade, we can expect more than 100,000 satellites orbiting the Earth. Just imagine that, from internet to every remotest corner of village on the Earth, to real-time tracking of ships, planes, and even crops. Satellites are going to be the infrastructure of tomorrow's economy.
And that's what excites deep tech investors such as us. It's not just about rockets and space dust, but real live applications in spaces like agriculture, maritime industry, in industrialization. We believe there's a lot of opportunity here, and we're excited to see what India has to throw up.
Exactly, and the heart of this revolution, there's one company which we are here to celebrate. This company had just had their first commercial order launched on board SpaceX last week only. And this company, we are just going to invite
big round of applause, everyone,
co-founder and CFO of Dhruva Space.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, is it afternoon? Anyway, we recently had a launch on SpaceX. This was the P30 class platform, the one you can see on the other side of the thing that was launched.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go, SpaceX, go now. Vehicle's pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
After Firefly 1, the next deployment will be Leap 1 for Dhruva Space. As part of Dhruva's Launching Expeditions for Aspiring Payloads, LEAP initiative, this hosted payload mission carries 2 Australian payloads to orbit, one demonstrating advanced edge computing in space, and the other deploying a next-generation hyperspectral imager for Earth observation.
Dhruva Space Leap 1, separation confirmed. We have confirmation of all payloads separations.
And there you heard it, confirmation of the deployment for Firefly 1, Leap 1, Acadia 6, Firefly 2, and Firefly 3. Now with these final deployments, we will bring our webcast to a close.
So today's session, I thought I'll give a couple of, while space is very interesting, fascinating, but why do we really need space? Like, how are we benefiting from it? How are we using it? So with that, I wanted to give a couple of scenarios where they are hypothetical, but how would you build a constellation in space is what I'm looking at. So the first problem that we want to solve, so again, this is year 2029, obesity and diabetes in India is extremely on the rise. So the Indian government has banned all kinds of sweets and candies. So in such a scenario, there's a lot of illegal smuggling that is happening where they're bringing in all the candies into the country. So the Indian government wants to stop it. So they need to identify how that's happening, right? So that is the broad level challenge that they've given to us. So what we have said is, see, every ship carries something called an AIS transponder. So it is basically sending a beacon saying that I'm in so-and-so location, these are my coordinates, etc. So we know if it's like an illegal ship, or like, there might be a ship that is going off course and there could be a risk of it crashing into others. So this is essentially to do that. So what we have proposed is, fine, we will try to capture an image of the sea or ocean, identify the ship. At the same time, we will see if the AIS is being emitted or not. In case AIS is not being emitted, we know that there is something wrong with this ship being in that particular position at that particular time. So essentially, this is where Dhruva comes into play. We are a full stack end-to-end space engineering solution company. We build the satellites, we help launch the satellites, and we also provide mission operations, the large ground stations, which are your antenna systems, to talk to the satellite or download the data from the satellite. So here are the tools that we have to accomplish this whole task. So AG, Cass's part, quick, because I have a question for you after. So on the left, you see there are different satellite platforms. So the first one, the P dot, that's the, you can see the small satellite over there. So that is the P dot. Next is the P30. This is the one that we recently launched on SpaceX. That's the one with the unfurled antennas. And P new, we couldn't transport it here. It would be the size of this thing. So depending on the requirement, we use different classes of satellites. So again, optimizing for money, launch, etc. On the right, there are different kinds of payloads. When we say a payload, it is either like a camera to capture the image. It could be like a modem to use internet through space. Or it could be like the AIS receiver I was telling earlier. Just to get a little more into depth over here. Yes. So we have, on the first one, it is a panchromatic camera where you're imaging just in one band. The advantage of this is, you can clearly see what is happening in that area. The main advantage is that it is easy to build, relatively cheaper. So if I'm building, let's say, a satellite with panchromatic, 1.5 meter resolution, probably 1.5 million or 12 crores would be the cost. Then we move to multispectral, where it captures more bands of images. So what we can see with the eye and what we cannot see with the eye is also captured. Then comes hyperspectral, where lot more bands are captured. So again, if we are looking at equivalent pricing, the first one would have 12 crores, multispectral would be probably around 20 crores, hyperspectral would be around 28 crores. So that's how like almost a 2x, 3x jump on the costs over there. And then comes synthetic aperture radar. So with the other cameras, if there's a lot of cloud cover, there's rain, you will not be able to see it properly. And in night also, you cannot image properly. With synthetic aperture radar, you can, but the catch with SAR imagery is that the recent NISAR mission that NASA and ISRO did together was costing about $1.5 billion for a single satellite, but we can have like at around 80-90 crores as well on a smaller scale. So next we have AIS, which I was telling earlier, and ADSB, right? So AG, which of these things would, and again, we want to continuously monitor, right? So we'll need about 60 of these satellites to be launched.
60, okay.
60. So it's very simple. I need to be able to look at an item with my eye and also at the same time see that AIS is anywhere there. So which of the 4 images would you choose as a government with limited resources?
Well, I would guess if you have to see the ships at night, why would you not go for SAR? But I think it's going to be very expensive.
Yes. So like I said, we are looking at a minimum of 20 is needed if I'm looking at SAR.
Minimum of 20.
So that is 200 million.
200, wow, okay.
If I'm doing exactly the same with panchromatic.
I think in general we are tight on budget, so let's explore something else. So
yes. So what we
what could be the best?
Ideally propose in this case is doing a panchromatic because it's cheaper. Again, if budget is no constraint, we can always go up. A resolution of 1.5 meter, which is like, you know, when you're taking a photo with your camera, you have your resolution. So the lower the resolution, let's say if resolution is 1 meter, it is a better image. If it's 0.5, it is even better image.
But will it serve the purpose of dark ship capture?
At least in the night, we should be able to, it'll be a little challenge. But considering we have almost 16-hour light for Indian Ocean, like the seas around, should be enough. And a P30 class satellite, this size of satellite should be able to do it. Again, reducing the cost drastically compared to.
I imagine P90 would be much more expensive than.
Yes, P90 would be almost 5x the cost of a P30, just the satellite platform.
Interesting.
So
but why not go for P dot then?
P dot, I'll get to P dot pricing a little later. So P dot is almost, I'd say, 1/10 the cost of P30. So again, it has limited usage, but there's an interesting use case that I will get to once we start moving. Right? So essentially, this is the, like, you have the camera that captures your image. Your AI's payload is more like it's something that's built inside the satellite, so you won't essentially be able to see it. And with this, we'll be able to provide the solution to the government. And with higher resolution imagery, you can in fact, see what is being put on the cargo on a particular ship as well. So it's a spectrum of things that we can do. Can you play the video, please? So just for you to understand how the satellites work, it's essentially the Earth is moving in one direction and you have your satellites moving in different directions. So you would not have your satellite over your head all the time, but you need to optimize saying that, okay, I need a satellite over my head every 2 hours. So this is the number of satellites. So we end up taking all of that, doing all of that math to figure out which is the best way to go ahead with it. So my second incident, so Japan is having a massive issue with a lot of Godzilla attacks early in the morning. So they've observed that Godzilla always attacks at 5 a.m. in the morning, but they don't know which area it's coming from. So similar exercise that we did earlier. And we know that it's always going to come in the night. So essentially this time we are having to go with a synthetic aperture radar. And PNU is the platform that we would require for this size of a camera. But again, we are looking at spending $200 million and above. So we also came up with one more solution saying that we will put a bunch of ocean buoys everywhere and we will have our tiny P dots, about 200 of them flying in the sky. So this particular solution, we could probably, just for the constellation, putting up 200 satellites, it will cost us around 15 to 20 million. That's it.
Is there any drawback of this solution which can't be done?
It is an alternative, but you need to have a lot of buoys and you need to monitor them. So if there's a buoy that's destroyed by Godzilla, maybe it becomes harder for you to replace it. So I think I have very little time, so I'm jumping in a little. So there are a lot of other use cases for whatever I have just told you right now. So, there's a lot of illegal shipping that happens, illegal fishing that happens, that's becoming a massive problem for the environment. And we're also looking at other supply chain issues that can be solved. And in fact, a lot of hedge funds today use AI's data for their trading to know, they know like if there's a delay in a particular mineral coming into the country, they know that the price would probably go up. So that is our presentation. Thank you.
So Chaitanya, what do you think would be the future of space maybe like 10 to 15 years down the line, especially from the Indian context?
So one thing that India is today looking, if we are comparing to US and China, they have 800 plus active satellites. India today has about 55 active satellites. So India is trying to catch up. It's a big jump, but there's a lot of privatization that's happening. And India is also now actively looking at having our own space station. So that is pretty exciting. Essentially, if people really want to go into space, I think in the next 10 years, 10, 15 years, that's going to be pretty possible. I mean, even today you can go, but it will probably cost you
maybe
about $100 million. So.
Yeah. Well, I really hope it comes true. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we please have the token of appreciation? AG, you were asking prices as if you were in a supermarket. Huh? Thank you, Dhruva Space, for reminding us that the sky is not the limit, it's just the launch pad.
Thank you very much, Chaitanya.
Did you know the human brain generates enough electricity to power a 10-watt bulb? No wonder we have all bright ideas at IvyCap Day. And BrainsightAI is here to show us how to turn those sparks into real breakthroughs. AG, tell me one thing. Were you thinking of secretly understanding or reading your wife's mind while investing in this startup?
Only if that would have been possible, Madhuri. But yeah, talking about breakthroughs, it just reminds me of the day when I first met the BrainsightAI team and I was completely mesmerized by the fact that how less we understand about the most vital organ of our body. Aniket, do you know how many people on this globe suffers from any kind of neurological disorder?
The fact that you've asked me, my guess is somewhere close to hundreds of millions of people.
Well, you will be amazed to know it's 3.4 billion people suffers from any kind of neurological disorder as per a WHO report, which is almost like 43% of global population, and hundreds of these neurological disorders are still not explored by medical researchers at all.
Wow, that sounds like a big opportunity, and somebody doing something in this space sounds like it will be an interesting problem to solve.
Just imagine, like, a company is there which is helping the doctors actually go deeper into the brain and visualize it. Will you not call it a breakthrough?
Definitely, definitely. Sounds like $1 billion opportunity.
So that's what BrainsightAI is doing. BrainsightAI is India's leading connectomics platform, which is basically providing a sneak peek into the brain and helping neurosurgeons navigate just like you navigate your car on the road. And by the way, there is They also tell you where the traffic jam is so that the traffic police or the neurosurgeon in this case can help you clear that law, so that a proper functioning of this complex organ can happen smoothly.
Sounds like a difficult problem to solve, and I'm sure we need a great person to solve it. So with that, I'd like to introduce to you Rimjim Agarwal, the co-founder and CTO of BrainSight. Specifically, also, it's interesting to know that she holds a PhD in psychiatry and a core focus on machine learning, which I think gives her the unique skill sets to solve for a problem like this.
Thank you so much. And I'm also joined by Dr. Abhiram, who's our prestigious neurosurgeon who works with us in Hyderabad. So thank you for him.
Good morning. Thank you all.
So imagine that if your brain can be mapped like traffic map, Google map, and how scary or exciting would that be? It is something which is absolutely exciting to us. That's what we do in BrainSight. Think about almost 50% of the people who are undergoing surgery will probably have some kind of loss. It could be loss of the vision, or they might forget their loved ones, or they might not be able to walk properly after the surgery has happened. Think about what can happen after radiation therapy within 6 months of cognitive decline. That might lead people to not go to their work again, or lead a life with bad outcomes. Lifestyle changes. 64 million people require rehabilitation. Only 50% of them get a properly individualized rehabilitation. You know what is all common in this? People don't know about brain enough, and doctors are not getting the information that they need. It is not looked from the lenses of how the brain is performing. That's what we bring on the table. I'll play a small video which shows, and another doctor has also mentioned.
Your daughter's in surgery and you ask me if surgery will preserve what makes them uniquely them. Over 14 million people undergo brain surgery every single year, and every single neurosurgeon I know has been asked this question. The challenge is we have limited tools in understanding brain function, and it's especially difficult for people who have to undergo instructions for a task-based MRI.
Introducing VoxelBox, the groundbreaking BrainsightAI platform. All you have to do is upload MRI scans, and in just 12 minutes, it generates personalized maps of up to 7 brain networks, automatically with 0 manual effort, which helps in improving brain analysis and directly enhancing surgical outcomes. This is a true game changer for neurocare. Imagine the discoveries when mapping isn't the bottleneck anymore. BrainsightAI. Navigate to the future of brain mapping.
So what they are getting right now is something like this, where the information is lacking. Here you can see the details are lacking, and functional information is lacking completely. The activities are not seen. Here, this video which played earlier, I'll give you one explanation how it is currently used. So if you see, there is presence of tumor, and near the tumor there are all these threads. These are actually doing the part of communication, taking the signal from one place to another. And the dark red regions are the activity of the brain. So for example, if any person had a tumor and surgery has been performed and there is cut on these threads, there will be change in the activity, and they might not be able to understand the language or speak the language. That is what we are trying to save here. Like that, we are saving around 9 networks of the brain. Not just the functions of speaking, vision, or motor, it is also the cognitive functions, how you're performing, how you're thinking, how you're reading. All those functions are also saved. We do it by using 3 major types of MRI. Now, the patient just needs to go for 7 minutes extra in the MRI machine. We get these 3 MRI, structural MRI, diffusion MRI, and the functional MRI, the destination of the regions in the map is decided by structural MRI. The road maps are decided by the central diffusion MRI, and the functional MRI is decided by a person going. It is like a video of the brain. It is 4D data, which is 3D data for a time series. But when it comes to us, it comes in a format like this, very grayscale, like old school TV. What we make, we process the images. Even after that, it is a grayscale image. We then extract the signals and translate it in a form which is used in surgeries. And this is the kind of output used while analyzing. Now, on this screen, a doctor was doing a planning and visualizing just before the surgery. This is one of the output. The blue region is the tract, the brown region is the function, and you can see in one of the side, the brown region is less in quantity than the other side, which is where the function is missing because there is a placement of tumor. Here also, it is with the whole structure of the brain. This is one patient, what he was analyzing. And he finally took this trajectory to perform the surgery. So it also helps in taking the correct trajectory while performing the surgeries. Now it is very simple. What they just need to do is to upload the scans on the platform. It is like just a Gmail. They can open it, they can log in and upload the images. I have masked the name of the patients because it's a regulatory constraint for us. This is our real dashboard video. And once they have uploaded it, they can wait for a few minutes and they will then get all the results. They can download it and visualize it on their viewer. So this is a medical grade viewer where they can visualize it. And also while performing the surgery, it can come on their screen if they put it on that machine. We also integrate with hospitals end-to-end to perform these tasks. Now I'll hand it over to Dr. Abhiram Gabita, who is a neurosurgeon, neuro-oncologist, and skull-based. He is one of the pioneers who's also looking into improved outcomes of the surgery and maintaining the lifestyle of patient even after the surgery. I'll hand it over to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Rimjim. So now actually we'll see some clinical examples how connectomics has been integrated into daily life cases. So when we see this slide, we can see this world map. We can see this world map where different countries have been marked. So, but there are no cities in them. There is a lot of cultural variance. There are a lot of urban and rural populations. So there is a lot of difference in this, but we cannot see this on a world map. The similar thing with the traditional brain map. The traditional brain used to be considered as the functions being nested in certain specific areas. But what we actually have to know is we can see this picture of a ballet dance, flock of birds, and brain functions. These are all metastable systems. They are non-linear. They have a hierarchical influence. They are self-organization. They are not static. They are very dynamic. They have activations, deactivations, and depending upon person's skill, they get activated and deactivated. This is what we have to look in connectomics. How are they achieving it? With DTI, functional MRI, and with machine learning, they're creating brain maps that is like an a la carte surgery for each and every patient. It's not like one size fits for all, it's an a la carte surgery. So this one is a basic, these are the basic brain lobes: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobes. We can just example this to long avenues connecting multiple roads. So the networks are the areas which are connected with tracks by the long avenues. So when we see this, what do we tell the patients or what we extract from this? The networks are like the highways, the main tracks are what connect them. And we tell the patient families about their daily working status, cognition, speech, everything, what to expect, what will improve, what will not improve, and how we are responsible for this. So this is the general report view, how we can see on the voxel box which network and which tract is involved. So these are some clinical examples. So this patient has come from Australia.
she had a resection at one place where residual tumor was there. So you can see her cognition, that is how she reacts to daily, her memory, her working memory, her calculation abilities and all are nested in this orange spot activations. If I go from that area, I'll definitely disrupt this network and I'll give her a lot of cognitive footprint. So when I go from the other area on the tumor and resect the tumor completely, she will not have this deficits. So this is the post-op scan showing a complete removal. This is one more patient. This is one more patient where when I had resected the lesion, he is completely speechless. But when I went back and saw the connectomic scan, we have seen that his default mode network is activated in that region. So based on this, I have started him on a therapy and he started talking
Can
back.
that patient recover his lost motor skills?
Yes, so when we started pharmacotherapy based on the network, he started talking back. Somehow this video is not playing. He started talking back from the third day. Initially he was, no, the second one. It's okay, I think it's his photo. So this is one more lesion. A mother just delivered her child. She had seizures. So immediately they shifted her to an MRI. There was a large temporal lesion. So we have seen that her motor speech area means like how you, what you respond to a question is motor speech area, whereas what you understand is called a sensory speech area. This is the sensory speech area. So these two are connected by the tract called arcuate fasciculus. So when we preserve these and do surgery, this is how we see it on our navigation system. This is me mapping the brain. And post-operatively, you can see that the patient is completely talking. There are no paraphasias, no anomic problems. Patient is perfectly able to talk. She is able to interpret. She is able to answer back. Can I have the sound, please?
Amazing.
So she's telling that I'm seeing a spectacle, you see objects with it, I'm seeing a pen, you can write with it, sister is giving me feed, everything she's able to correlate. This is another peculiar case. Usually the speech areas are on the left side, but this patient had a speech area on the right side. This is one more example that why every patient should have his own connectomics map. So because the activation is more on the right side, I did not do a complete temporal lobectomy. I have gone through a minimal invasive midline approach and I have removed the tumor completely. Post-operatively, patient was able to speak. You can see the pre and post-op, there are no deficits. So this is one more patient. He's from Mumbai. He actually came to us because we are doing connectomics guided resection. So he has a network, one network on the lesion. So I have taken a pathway which is from behind the lesion and dissected it. He's a supervisor at a farm and he has regained his full functions. The blue color network is the network that is for his left upper limb and lower limb, which has been marked with stickers here. And these are the networks, and this is the lesion at the center. If you are becoming very cautious without connectomics, what you will do is you will end up removing only lesser part of tumor. If you are becoming over enthusiastic without connectomics, you remove a lot of tumor and you will give deficits. This is one advantage with connectomics. So when you compare the outcomes with the non-connectomics and connectomics guided resection, the amount of tumor removal is more with connectomics. And permanent neurological deficits is absolutely 20% low compared to non-connectomics. And when you do this kind of surgeries with large tumor removal with less deficits, progression-free survivals are high. Intraoperative safety is better. Not always you require awake patient to be awake during surgery with connectomics mapping. Language and cognitive preservation is almost 99% with connectomics. This is the evidence quality.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Abhiram, for walking us through. So many cases, amazing. Yeah. Rimji, maybe if you can quickly wrap up for time. Yeah.
Helpful in the neurosurgery cases. It is also helpful in neurological cases, psychiatry. We have also started looking into radiation therapy, and there are so many patients of radiation therapy who requires it. To understand the dosage of what is required in the radiation, what we need to do, we have 4 major layers, and within this it's a very complex system that we have in the back end. And the information engineering that we do is changing with each of the disorder that we handle. So we are unpuzzling the part of the brain, we are taking out the information, extracting the details, and putting it in the format which can be utilized for each of these different disorders. And that's how it is a scalable system. And the market size, which is 2 to 3 use cases itself, is 26 billion. And with so many other cases, there are a lot of non-medical cases. There are pharma cases, and there are also medical device who can use our system for validation. So the market is very huge. The potential is very huge. We can do all different sorts of things. Maybe one day we can read minds and thoughts. Who knows? So with that, I will finish this presentation. Thank you so much.